Okay, three things. Drunk Adriana is hilarious. Alexia, you met your match with Stephanie. And Marisol comparing what Guerdy did with the tech stuff to the movie Carrie, calling it a horror show. No, what's a horror show is that your homegirl showed out at your wedding and you have yet to say anything to her about it. That's the horror show.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I am Asia Esterak. Okay, the Real Housewives of Miami. I almost said Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Miami, season 7, episode 8, Dueling Yachts. Okay, so we open with my least favorite people on planet Earth at the moment, or in the Housewives universe, Julia and Martina. So they're talking about what happened at Gerties Party and the whole text thing. What's fun? You know what's funny? Listening to Julia talk about all this stuff, I feel like she knows that she's in the wrong a little bit, because even her energy in that scene. And it's funny how Martina has involved herself more in the ladies' drama. It's thunder and lightning outside, so I'm sorry if you hear some. Sorry, raining like crazy out there. Please don't let the power go off in the middle of this review. Anyway, so they're talking about what happened. It's just crazy to me how Julia has no accountability. She doesn't think what she's done is wrong. And of course, Martina, obviously she should back her, as she should. That's your woman. But it's like, they're sickening, and I cannot wait to never see those two again. What was funny, though, is, so they're flashing back to Gerties Party, and Guerdy called Julia classless because she wore tennis shoes to a classy affair. That had me dying. Martina was like, what's wrong with tennis shoes? I'm wearing some. They're Chanel. They was cute. They look like Pumas, but okay. The lack of accountability is really hard. It's so annoying. I can no longer empathize with you on any level, Julia. Next. So we get to Stephanie at her house that is currently being built, that her husband Masood bought with his ex-wife, and I guess it never got finished. They ended up getting married, and she said they moved to like a condo that was like a million square feet, and the only way she would live in that house is if they could redesign it. So Larsa meets her at this house. House is gorgeous, big ass house. Real quick, so there's a scene, there's a scene where they're walking up the stairs in this unfinished house. Larsa, how short do you want your shit to be? I could damn near see your uterus, girl. I was like, why is that outfit so just above her ass cheeks? I mean, do you, but okay. Larsa and her are talking about what happened at the party, and then they're talking about her exchange with Alexia. So here's my thing. What Stephanie said on Watch What Happens Live about Guerdy still pisses me off, but I have to give her credit where credit is due. She's not scared of these ladies. She's not scared of no Alexia. She's definitely not scared of a Marisol. She's not afraid to speak her mind. I'm here for it, because Alexia acts like she's the queen. Alexia wants to be the queen, it seems like, in any room. I mean, who doesn't? But like, her expectations, you have very high expectations for people when, what have you done? I'm just trying to figure out what you have done since you've been on this show. What do you do? Because you love to look down your nose at others, you and Marisol. Y'all need to chill with that, for real. So, Stephanie is clearly not scared. She don't care. So she's showing, my only thing with her too is everything is, oh, this is 1 million square feet, and this is going to be a wall full of all my Hermes bags and all this shit. Just remember, like, you can't take it with you to the next life. The Egyptians tried that shit. It didn't work. Anyway, like, what? I don't know. I get annoyed listening to her talk about wealth and shit, because it seems like you never had it the way you're talking about it. Like, you just got into it because of your husband. But okay, girl. So in this scene, Larsa's talking about this yacht party that she wants to invite Stephanie to. And I guess they're going to be doing, like, I think it's a 1-day or 2-day yacht situation. So in the next scene, it's kind of intercutting. Kiki and Larsa are sitting down, and they realize there's not going to be not enough room on Lars's yacht to host all the ladies. You know, Kiki's ex-boyfriend runs the Miami Yacht Club, so she calls him. They get a yacht. So now the girls are trying to figure out who's going to go on which boat. So on Kiki's boat, Kiki's like, I'll take Guerdy, Lisa, and Marisol and Adrianna. And then Lars is like, I don't know if Marisol is going to want to be on the same boat as Adrianna. They end up calling Marisol, and she's like, yeah, I don't want to be on the same boat as Adrianna. So they can't handle Adriana's mouth. Adrianna was a lot this episode, but I thought it was funny. Drunk Adriana's funny. It's like drunk Kenya, hilarious. So Adrianna, they switch it. Marisol is going to be on Lars's boat. So on Lars's boat is Larsa, Alexia, Guerdy, and Stephanie, even though she doesn't stay. So after that, we meet up with Alexia and Frankie. I love Frankie and Peter. Basically in this scene, we learned that Frankie and Alexia have moved to, they're renting some house on some island, she said, and until everything with Todd gets figured out. It's interesting how she purposely avoided talking about Todd in this scene. She actually says that in the confessional. She wants to keep everything separate. It's a little late for that. Just saying. So here's what's interesting about this scene. So Peter's there. Peter's balding, y'all, and he looks heavier. He is definitely Asian. So in this scene, they're talking about before Frankie's accident, and Alexia says something really interesting. So she says, you know, even though Frankie is younger than Peter, before the accident, Peter always looked up to Frankie. That shows you how immature Peter was. Because they showed a picture of them. Frankie looks so much younger and innocent and delicate compared to Peter. So that's interesting that Peter looked up to him. And obviously after the accident, things changed. But she said that after the accident, she didn't want to list Peter as, as a guardian for Frankie. And he actually jokes that he wouldn't have, they show in the flashback that he wouldn't have picked himself either. But this was an interesting scene. Alexia, I think you're going to have a tough road ahead when it comes to dating. And not even because of any of the past stuff. I think it's something with you. I don't know. I'm so hot and cold because I like Alexia and then I can't stand her at. This stuff with Guerdy, I'm not feeling the energy with that at all. And what's funny is even like her and Marisol, you guys aren't even on the same page in your own friendship. So it's crazy how you guys love to look down your noses at others. Y'all need to stop. Please stop. So after that, we see Dr. Nicole. I was happy to see Dr. Nicole. I'm mad she's not with us because Nicole kept it 100. And I love that Nicole, had her own shit going on, what was she, an anesthesiologist? They make a lot of money. God, I wish I should have, if I could go back in time. Where's my flux capacitor? I need to go back in time. Capacitor, however you say it. My DeLorean. I want to go back in time. I want to make the anesthesiologist money. Anyway, so I'm going all over the place. Sorry, guys. So Nicole meets up with Guerdy. They're still really great friends. This was a cute scene. I was cracking up because Nicole pointed out so much shit about Julia. She was like, it is weird that she's like, the way she's acting towards you and all of a sudden really good friends with Alexia and Marisol when they weren't, they were never really on the same page, not like that. Nicole even points out that it was her and Julia that came to Gertie's house right after her surgery. We're all in bed with her, hanging out with her. Something happened. I think Julia, is given jealousy. And I can't believe that Larsa said this. She said this at the end of the episode. She said, I can't understand these ladies. They all seem very jealous. Just saying. So Guerdy was like, by the way, so we find out in this scene that Nicole's husband, Anthony, used to date Stephanie, which was hilarious. And I love that her and Stephanie are cool. And what's funny, Guerdy mentions how both her and Stephanie are, small and petite with, big personalities. They actually call Stephanie on FaceTime. And it seems like Stephanie and Guerdy get along really well, too. That's why that comment that she made on Watch What Happens Live, I was like, Yeah, you say that now, but what if somebody threw water at you and then everybody else takes the person who threw the shit at you's side the entire season? Like, okay. I feel like Stephanie might come around a little bit in this season. We'll see. So it was funny. Guerdy says, "So what's it gonna take for you to get back into this group of ladies?" To Nicole. Nicole's like, she's like TBD. So it's yacht day. So we get to Kiki's yacht. Kiki gets to her yacht first. She's joined by Lisa and Lisa's friend Ebony. Turns out Ebony knows Kiki. Ebony, another beautiful chocolate skinned black woman. I was here for it. I'm like, is she gonna be on the show? That would be kind of cool. So, and then over at Larsa's yacht, she gets on the yacht and then the other ladies join her. So Adrianna gets on Kiki's boat last. Guerdy's not there yet. Guerdy actually doesn't come till later on for dinner. So they're on Kiki's boat. I couldn't believe they told Adrianna this. I would have kept that shit to myself. So they tell Adrianna that Marisol didn't want to go on Kiki's boat because she didn't want to be on the same boat as Adrianna. So, that set her ass off. Adriana's like, what? I thought we were cool. Why would she say that? So over on Larsa's yacht with, so Stephanie is there. Stephanie's actually going on a date with her husband to Canada. So she stays for a little bit. So she's on the yacht. Here's what's funny. So when she gets there, Alexia, Julia, and Marisol are already there. Stephanie is the last to arrive. And Stephanie is joking with Alexia. And the thing is, they're joking, but they don't like each other like that. You could just tell they're like, And my thing is, I don't think it's that deep for Stephanie. I think it's deeper for Alexia, because Alexia is somebody coming for you and you don't like it. Oh, well, don't come for other people and you won't get come for yourself. That sounded really weird. Strike that, reverse it. So they're kind of going back and forth. And Stephanie's like, well, I'm a Chihuahua. Or no. Adrianna calls her, I think Alexia calls her a Chihuahua. Somebody calls Stephanie a Chihuahua, and she's like, yeah. And Alexia's like, well, I'm like a Rottweiler, so remember that. So they're having like what I would call nice, nasty conversation, because them two ain't fooling with each other like that. Alexia feels some type of way. So in that scene, they're all having like a light lunch, and Julia's talking about Guerdy. What's funny is, Julia, you are so worried about Guerdy. You're worried because you know that she was telling the truth about your ass, and you're scared to face her. And here's what's funny too. So before we get on the boat, I think Adrianna is talking about Julia, her relationship with Julia, and vice versa. Julia doesn't understand why Adrianna didn't have her back more. And Adriana's whole thing is, I don't understand why Julia is all over there trying to be in Marisol and Alexia's face. Like, girl, they didn't feel it for you last year. I think even the year before. So like, what? So there's that. So anyway, the ladies eat lunch on their respective yachts, and then the yachts actually sail out of their ports and meet up with each other. And the girls are going to do like water games and shit. But here's what's funny. So Adrianna is already a little tipsy-nipsy. And she's clearly annoyed about what happened with finding out about Marisol not being on the boat because of her. So she's yelling out. So the other ladies go on the other boat. Kiki looked really cute in her bathing suit, by the way. Larsa got in her bathing suit, ass all out. Real quick, I want to back up. The second scene of this episode, when Stephanie and Larsa were at Stephanie's house, when they're outside talking, Larsa took off her sunglasses. Baby, I don't know who that was. Larsa, stop messing with your face, please. Like, for real. She took off them glasses, and I'm like, she's had more work done. Because this, and this was looking a mess, baby doll. A mess. Girl, I didn't know if I was looking at Larsa Pippen or a scene from the movie Brazil. I was like, what is going on? Anyway, to the ladies on this show, because you got the plastic surgery on this show, especially in the face, is out of control. Everybody on this show stop messing with your face. Please. Larsa, that was wild. Anyway, you're not an ugly woman at all. Your booty is cute. Best money spent. Money well spent. Your face, though, leave that shit alone. You were cute before. What is going on? Anyway, back to the scene. So there, Larsa goes down to jet ski, and they were talking about her butt. Larsa got a banging body. I just like, why does she keep fucking with her face? Leave your face alone. Stop fucking with your face. And speaking of that, Julia, I'm gonna give you a compliment. Julia, your facelift that you got while your wife was in chemo, your facelift looks nice. It looks nice while your wife was in chemo. Because that's what all this is about, right? You're mad because she called your ass out about that. Oh, well. Anyway, see what jealousy gets you? Because I think you're just jealous and mad, and that's what it is. That's got to be what it is, because none of this shit makes sense. So anyway, they're all doing like a Bond theme, which was kind of funny. Kiki had they had like a little water gun fight. So before they all cross over onto the boat, Adrianna is yelling stuff to Marisol, drunk as hell, talking about, get more plastic surgery. Get some plastic surgery in those bony knees. I mean, just talking crap. So then she starts talking about Julia. Julia's over there with the mean girls, the mean cougars. You know, it was a mess. So anyway, they all end up getting on the same boat. And it was a little awkward because Marisol can't stand Adrianna. Marisol, you talk a lot of shit, and then you don't want to own the shit that you talk. And then again, you met your match with Adrianna. You met your match with Leah Black. True tea. Rest in peace of Leah Black's husband, by the way. He passed away like a week or two ago. R.I.P. to him. But I don't know. It's just funny that Marisol and Alexia, you guys act like you're queens of the castle, but you guys have a real problem facing accountability and facing when somebody stands up to you. Y'all don't know what to do. Y'all don't know what to do with yourselves. It's giving insecurity. Super insecurity. So, we get to dinner. And Guerdy arrives. Guerdy looked amazing in that beautiful magenta dress, flowing with that, looking good against her beautiful chocolate skin. Guerdy's a beautiful woman. What can I say? And then her shoes match too. I like stuff like that. She looked great. So she gets on the boat, you know, very polite, hi, speaks to everyone. They sit down for dinner, and they all start talking. Lisa's asking, she's asking Adrianna and Marisol to say something nice about each other. I forget what Adrianna says about Marisol. It was something nice. Marisol talks about, I like that you play the piano, and I wish I could play the piano. That's how you know she don't see it for Adrianna. So then they're like, Guerdy and Julia, say something nice about each other. So Guerdy says to Julia, I like that you have empathy for others and care about other people and go, that's very nice. Says something along the lines of that. It was genuine and it was nice. Julia tells Guerdy that she likes the way she throws parties and some other. So from there, that's when we get into Gerties Party and the text message. I can't remember exactly who asked Guerdy why she did what she did. Actually, I think it was Larsa. It was either Larsa or Marisol. But they basically asked Guerdy why she did what she did. And Gertie's like to Julia, and she said, I thought we were fine. We had sat down. We had talked. I thought that we had, squashed it and we were good. And then at the narcissist party, you bring it up again, and that hurt me. And Julia tries to bring up, well, he was there. He was there as a tool to help us, and I wanted to understand. And Gertie's like, but we had already spoken about it, so you were bringing it up again as if you weren't over it. We could have we could speak about that privately. So then, I can't remember if it was Larsa or Marisol or perhaps even Alexia who asked Guerdy why she did what she did. Gertie's like, I felt like I had to do that because no one was listening to me. So they're interrupting her, which was sickening to watch, by the way. And Guerdy says to them, specifically to Alexia, because Alexia loved to talk over somebody. Guerdy goes, I understand that you don't believe me, but this is why I had to do what I do. Is this the way I wanted to do that? Of course not. But I was put in a position where I felt like I had to do that to defend myself. What's sad is all of them admit nobody even read the shit. And then Alexia's like, you know, it could have been a dick pic, you know. I'd rather it been just a bunch of dick pics. I would have looked at that. Girl, you would have had a problem with that too. Let's keep it real. You guys keep gaslighting and playing in Gertie's face, and it's ridiculous. Because your friend was in the wrong. And I love that in this scene, Guerdy pointed that out. She's like, to Marisol, she was like, your friend did that to you at your wedding. At your wedding. And you didn't say anything to her. And Marisol, you didn't say anything to her. You made it all about Guerdy. So either y'all don't like Guerdy or you guys got deeper rooted issues. But Guerdy said what she said. She was done. So, and Julia's talking about, well, you know, we should talk. We should have another conversation. I don't understand what the point of another sit down between Guerdy and Julia would be. Julia is not over that shit. That's pretty obvious. In the first scene, even Martina and her said that there's no coming back from that. Okay, cool. So then let it go. You get around these other ladies and you act a certain way. Oh, I'm so glad you're not coming back. Girl, bye. So, they end up having, they continue to drink and have more of a sit down, you know, more of a conversation. What's funny though, in this scene with Guerdy and Julia and all the ladies talking, Adriana's drunk ass is behind them trying to, I need somebody to open a bottle of wine. And Julia in her confessional, you know, Adriana, you know, she's supposed to be here defending me. You are 50, aren't you almost 50 something years old? You don't know how to defend yourself? That's what I understand about these shows. Like, such and such didn't have your own damn back. Like, what? So later on, Julia and Adriana talk. Adriana was drunk as hell. They're sitting in they're up top, and they're sitting opposite each other. And Adriana's like, why are you so far away from me? So they kind of start talking, and Adriana is kind of like, you know, why are you all friends with Marisol and Alexia all of a sudden? And Julia gives some little bullshit ass excuse, and then feels like she wasn't supported by Adriana. And her whole thing was, she's like, why didn't you follow me out when Guerdy did that stuff at her party? And Adriana goes, I wanted to hear what she had to say, just like I heard what you had to say. You know, like that relationship, I'm pretty sure is not the same. Because, I mean, Adriana apparently drug her ass on Twitter or X in real life. But Julia, you're fake. You're clearly very different this season. I don't know if you're smelling your own shit. I don't know what it is. But girl, it's whack. So anyway, they all continue to have a great night, getting drunk. The ladies go back on their boats. They go to sleep. We wake up the next morning. Marisol, Alexia, and Larsa are up on... I don't know, they're in the dining, I don't know. They're on one of the decks, sitting up there, chilling. They FaceTime Stephanie. She's on her way back. And of course, her and Alexia doing little digs. And then Stephanie makes a comment about Alexia being a Rottweiler. And Alexia gets offended. And Stephanie's like, wait a minute. You referred to yourself as a Rottweiler yesterday. I'm just calling you, you know, we're just playing around. Alexia is obviously bothered by that. She's, you know... So she's like, well, I gotta go. So she's calling Kiki on speaker. And what's hilarious is Larsa is still talking to Stephanie on FaceTime. And she's like, I don't know why she's getting mad. I'm just calling her what she called herself. And Alexia can hear it. So she was bothered by that. They're still going kind of back and forth a little off of that. She hangs up the phone with Stephanie, who will be back. And the episode kind of ends there. Them two are going to end up blowing up. This was an interesting episode because... we're seeing that there definitely is a division. There are two sides. There are two sides to the group. And I don't know. We're only on episode 8. I'm curious how the rest of this is going to go because a lot has happened. A lot has gone down in 8 episodes. Anyway, that was this week, you guys. Interesting episode. So stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. And let me get out of here and go return these videotapes.